when your best poll has you still 14 points underwater, you know it's truly bad, and it's as bad as 26 points underwater. We're talking about an average well underwater with the deep blue sea, swimming with the fishes.
You know, guys, I think Donald Trump may have just experienced his worst month ever, whether you're talking about his first term or his second term. And I think he is scared out of his mind right now for what is coming in the 2026 midterms. I mean, just think about it. You've got the economy in the toilet, inflation is on the rise, Republicans are leaving Congress, and now they're even being investigated for war crimes because they are killing people off the coast of Venezuela. Everywhere you look with this buffoon, nothing is going right. So I wanted to check in to see whether or not the polling numbers were starting to reflect the abject failure that is Donald Trump. And let me tell you guys, the numbers don't disappoint here. And what I find most fascinating is that even independents are running away from Donald Trump as fast as they possibly can. So let's go ahead and take a look at this latest poll from Gallup, which captures the month of November. And then I want to talk about what this means for the upcoming midterms in 2026. If you guys do appreciate my work and want to support the show, please do remember to subscribe. We are trying to make it to 30,000 subscribers before the end of the year, and I would very much appreciate your support.
I mean, it's a disaster if it holds towards the midterm elections. And I should note, of course, it's not alone. I mean, just take a look here. This is Gallup. This is the longest running poll. You know, Gallup has been conducting polls since my father was a kid. And my father was born in 1927, had me in the 60s. Look at this in January. Donald Trump's net approval rating, not too bad, not too great. It was at -1 point, right within the margin of error, breaking even. But look at this now. Negative 24 points, way down. We're talking about a drop of over 20 points in the wrong direction for the President of the United States. Minus 24 points, that's a 23-point move in the incorrect direction if you're the president. And of course, what's so important here, Sarah Seidner, is it matches the trend that we've seen with other polls. That is Donald Trump hitting his low for the second term. I was doing the count last night. I think we're up to 10 polls in sort of the last 40 days, 10 different pollsters who have said that Trump is at the lowest point he is in his second term.
So we have obviously been following this downward trend of Donald Trump's approval rating, but what's really fascinating here is that anytime Donald Trump talks about his polling numbers, he's always talking about it like he's got a 98% approval rating. I've got a 97% approval rating, a 99% approval rating, which means none of this information is penetrating the MAGA conspiracy bubble. That is going to be a problem for Donald Trump. That's going to be a problem for the nation because now you've got a whole bunch of sycophants around him who are unwilling to share any bad news. And any poll we look at, everything is looking the same, guys. The American people are looking around and saying, we do not like what we see. And it's not just the Gallup polling. Look at all of these other polls taken in November that show the exact same trend downwards.
It's been a tough few days for the president in the polls.
Yeah, John Berman, I would say this is probably the worst 10-day period for the president in the polls his entire second term. The numbers are just atrocious. What are we talking about here in terms of net approval rating? Well, take a look. These are all November polls. The best one of the group puts him at 14 points underwater. That's the Marquette University Law School poll, tied for the worst he's ever had in that poll. Fox, 17 points underwater. Maris, 17 points underwater. The Reuters Ipsos poll, 22 points underwater. And then taking the cake, the AP North poll, 26 points underwater. When your best poll has you still 14 points underwater, you know it's truly bad, and it's as bad as 26 points underwater. We're talking about an average well underwater with the deep blue sea, swimming with the fishes.
And
I mean, these numbers are abjectly terrible. I mean, negative 26 over at the AP, 26 points underwater on that particular poll. Then you got negative 22, negative 17, negative 17, negative 14. Everywhere you look with this guy, people are saying, we don't like him. We don't like what he's doing. We don't like what he's doing to our economy. We don't like how he's handling this. We don't like how he's handling that. And like I said, guys, this is the type of thing we need heading into the 2026 midterms. We've got to capitalize on this unpopularity and make sure that we are putting forward a positive, affirming message for people to actually vote for. We have been overperforming in these special elections. I think Democrats have been overperforming by an average of 15 points. We just saw down in Tennessee that the Democratic candidate only lost by 9, which means that was a 13-point swing to the left. So things are starting to tick in the positive direction for the Democrats. But like I said, guys, we need to capitalize on this and make sure that we are putting forward candidates, that we are putting forward a message, and we are putting forward some hope for the future of this country. Because right now, Donald Trump is as unpopular as he has ever been in his second term. Now, I did say that the independent polling is particularly fascinating to me. Check out what independents have to say about this idiot president.
And now this is all parties here. If you think this is bad, Harry.
If you think this is bad, what is driving these horrific numbers for Donald Trump? Well, why don't we take a look at independents, Trump's net approval rating with independents. Back in January, he was close to even. He was at -4 points. Not great, but not terrible. Look at this number, 43 points underwater with independents in the most recent average of these polls. When you are 43 points underwater with independents, you know you're doing terribly. You can't win with this. If this holds for next year's midterm election, wave adios amigos, goodbye, see you later to that House Republican majority and that Senate Republican majority very much in danger as well. When you take a look at the Pew Research validated voter survey going back to last year, he was basically even among independents with Kamala Harris. Now he is 43 points underwater. Whatever he is doing with independents, it ain't working. They despise him at this point.
That is just.
I mean, I wouldn't want to be Donald Trump right now, I'll tell you that much. -43 with independents alone. And I don't blame him, right? I don't blame him at all. I think probably the economy is hurting a lot of people right now. And we've got ICE running around this country, and they are snatching people off the streets without any due process at all. People's neighbors are being messed with. We have American citizens being detained for days on end. And independents, they just don't like that shit. You may find people inside the MAGA base who want more of that shit and want to be more cruel. They want to be more inhumane. But most of the American people do not like this shit. And that's why it is so crazy to me that Donald Trump is not even trying to course correct at all. When he was asked a week or two ago whether or not the ICE raids were going too far or the ICE actions were going too far, he said they weren't going far enough. The dude is outside of his fucking mind. In no world is it okay that we have a secret police in this country running around like a bunch of unaccountable assholes and kidnapping people, shoving them into unmarked cars, and then a lot of the cases, they are sending these people to countries where they have never been to before. Those are human rights abuses. You've got American citizens being wrapped up in all of this shit as well. What is going on in this country? It's just un-American. It is un-American. And then you stack on top of that the bad economy. You stack on top of that the inflation that is starting to tick back up because Donald Trump thought it would be a really great idea to implement these unilateral tariffs. It's no wonder that independents despise Donald Trump. That's why we are seeing Donald Trump at his lowest point that he has ever been in his second term, and 43 points underwater with independents specifically. Let's just keep on this momentum, guys, and make sure that we are turning people against this incompetent buffoon known as Donald Trump. Now, the last thing I want to show you here is what this could mean for the upcoming midterms.
All right, look, what does this mean for the midterms? Because are you seeing a trend that it's linked to how people feel about the president?
Yeah, okay. So, we always say, hey, look, we still got 11 months until the midterm elections. Right. That's forever in politics. So I decided to go back and look at this point in the second term. What happened? What was the trend line heading into the midterm elections? Were there any presidents who saw their net approval ratings rise by more than 5 points? Well, guess what, Sarah Sider? You go all the way back since Harry S. Truman. 0 out of 8 times did the president's net approval rating rise by over 5 points. And, of course, Donald Trump, right now in Gallup, minus 24 points. He's in the minus teens according to the average. If he does not see a rise of more than 5 points. See you later, that Republican majority. It has never happened. Of course, we live in such a weird time in politics. Who knows? We live in a weird time, but he's going to have to break history, Sarah Seidner.
So the way that I took this particular poll is, Donald Trump is trending downward with his approval rating now. And if he is unable to move that approval rating back up by at least 5 points, then that's probably not going to end too well for him in the 2026 midterms. And what Harry Enton is showing here is that no other president has been able to do that. No other president has been able to reverse a downward trend like Donald Trump is seeing now and put 5 points back on the board in the positive direction. So if this trend holds true, and if Donald Trump is unable to turn that trend around, then midterms are looking very good for the Democratic Party. That is what I am taking from this particular information. So like I said, guys, we need to continue to turn people against Donald Trump and his wannabe authoritarian regime. We need to continue to speak out against the ICE raids. We need to continue to speak out against what he is doing to this economy. We need to continue to speak out against all of this corruption that is just deeply ingrained inside this administration. And that we need to put forward an aspirational vision for what we want to do with the country. Things are already ticking in our direction, and we have got to continue the work. We've got to put in the work today, so we are winning those midterms tomorrow. So like I said, guys, these numbers are looking really good for the Democratic Party. They are looking terribly, terribly, terribly for Donald Trump, and I just love to see it. So I will leave it there for now, guys. If you did get anything out of this video, please do remember to smash that like button, feed that algorithm for me a little bit, share it with a friend or two. I would very much appreciate that. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. As I said, we are trying to make it to 30,000 subscribers before the end of the year and would very much appreciate your support. If you guys want to go a step above and beyond that, you can help me produce these videos by becoming a member by hitting that join button right here on YouTube for as little as $3 a month. Or you can head over to politiscape.substack.com where you can have my content delivered directly to your inbox every single day. And the cool part about Substack is I own the data over there. And if you guys want to support organizations that are putting in the work today to make sure that we are winning those midterms, make sure you check out the Unfuck America tour by smashing that link in my bio. You can sign up to volunteer, you can sign up to donate, or you can purchase tickets to our big event down in Phoenix on December 20th. We are going to be down there as a response to Turning Point USA's AmFest. We've got Adam Mockler, we've got Destiny, we've got all of your other favorite creators from the Unfuck America tour. We are going to be having open dialogue and debate, and it should be one hell of a time, so make sure you get your tickets now before they run out. And if you could throw a few bucks my way to help me get down to that event, I would greatly appreciate that as well, whether it's $2, $10, or $50, guys. Every little bit helps, and we have got to be a team as we continue the fight against this authoritarian regime. So until the next one, guys, everybody keep that chin up, and as I will continue to say, let's put in the work today so we are cleaning house in those midterms tomorrow. I'll see you on the next one.